What you guys, I thought we'd have a bit of fun and install Windows ME onto VMware Workstation. So let's go ahead and install ME. We've got our ISO image. I'm going to boot to that ISO image and then click enter to continue to install it, and then configure the unallocated disk space by recommendations. Then we're going to click on yes, enable large disk space support, and then we're just going to push enter here, and that should reboot. And now we can boot from our CD-ROM and then start Windows setup from CD-ROM support and let that start to install. Now for you that may not have used Windows ME in the past, it might be an interesting look for you. So we're just going to quickly format this drive, and this is an 8GB drive. The scan disk will then run. I'll speed this process up because it does take a bit of time, and we're just going to install this, typical, and then we're just going to install all the common features here, pick our keyboard layout, and then just go ahead and pick our time zone and let that install. Now that will take a fair bit of time, and as you can see over the years they've reduced the amount of time it takes to install Windows compared to the old days. Like Windows ME, this would have took you an absolute age to install. So I'm just going to speed this process up, restart the computer again. It was loads of restarts back in them days if I remember rightly, and just restart, boot back up again. Now I have speeded these processes up because it does take time. Setting up the hardware now, and it's doing a hardware detection, and I'll put the key in, and then we'll just push next here, and this will accept the key. Click on finish there, and of course it's still doing another reboot. And now what it's doing, it's going to update the system settings, get it all prepared for us. And you could see the amount of time that it used to take to install Windows back in them days and set everything up, and it was a complete nightmare if you had to wipe the system. And the time, another restart here again, so that seemed to be the norm back then. And as you can see, it's now starting to ask for our username, so we'll put a username here and click OK. You can put a password if you want. The little drum symbol, updating all our hardware information and database and system settings. And you can see our times have moved on with Windows 10 compared to Windows ME back then. Now again, I've speeded this process up, and now we are at the desktop, and there is another problem. Because this is an old operating system, the VMware Workstation doesn't have the right driver in here to work properly with this old operating system. You see it's locked down, it won't let me go any higher than 640 by 480, but I can fix that. We need to get the VMware toolset to fix this issue, and you can see I just need to unmount the VMware ISO here, which is for the Windows ME ISO. I just need to unmount that and remount the VMware tools and install that one, which is suitable for the old operating systems. It's Super VGA driver I need. So let me just quickly install this. And with this installed, I'm going to do typical here, or complete. I'll do complete, and then just install that. Now, it's still not out of the woods yet. We still need to, you can see it's failed to set up the Super VGA driver, but that's okay. We can fix this. I'm going to click OK and let that go through, and it's also failed the mouse driver, and it's okay. We just need to install it with this little notepad that pops up here. Just going to point to the path. It just wants us to go into there and point to the path where the actual driver is. So it's not recognizing the driver, that's all that is. So I'm going to go to advanced here and then adapter. And you can see it's set up for the generic adapter here. So we're just going to point this in the location. specify location, and then go next. And then we need to copy this path here. You can see C programs, files, VMware, tools, and drivers. There we go. So just copy that, click next, and then specify our location again, and change this from our little A prompt here to that path. Click next, and that should now pull that driver across, and it will probably need another reboot at that stage. Here you go, and then click next again, and then finish, and then probably do another restart. There we go. They do love a restart. So we go boot up again, and we should have a better looking system now. There we go. We've got some graphics now, and there is the Windows ME or ME of old, which people probably remember back in the day. Now I have removed some of the sounds here for the Windows Media Player when I play it, just in case there is copyright, but they had a particular type of song that you can Such a Beautiful Day, I think it was, or something like that. When you click on it, you used to play it. But let's just change the settings here for the display. Now you can go right the way up here, but I'm just going to keep it nice and low because it's just a video. As you can see, up to 1920 by 1440 here. So I'm just going to go there. That will do. Click apply and OK, and resize the screen. Now, can we still use it today? True Color 32-bit. There we go. So let's have a look at the Internet Explorer here. So open up Internet Explorer, and that's not working, as you can see here. So we need to sort out the internet. So let's go ahead and try and do that. And what we're going to do here is click on My Computer, if I remember rightly, and go into Control Panel here. In the Control Panel, into Internet Options, and there weren't many options there, to be fair, back in the day. And what we need to do here is go to Connections, and I'm just going to quickly connect a LAN setting here. So we're going to Connections here, and you can see the few little options you had available back in Windows ME days. So we're just going to click on Connections and Set Up. And you can see a LAN one there, that'll do. We'll just click on LAN and click Next, unless you want to watch the tutorial. And we're going to connect through our local area network. That'll do. And we don't want MAL, and we'll click Finish. And we should have some internet now, so let's just go to Google here. It's trying to open up Microsoft.com. I'm just going to quickly change this to Google. There we go. So we've got Google up, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some restrictions to some of the sites that we want to see. So let's go to BBC here to see if we can open this up. So the actual browser wants to open this up. And of course I don't think it's going to load properly. There we go. So it's having trouble loading because of that browser. Now you could spend a bit of time, I suppose, trying to get a decent browser in there working, but we're not going to be doing that. Oh, the autocomplete box popping up. I'm going to put a tick in there, and some of these channels and sites will not work. Let me try my site here and see if this works. And I should imagine it's going to have a few issues. Error on page. There we go. A few errors on that page there, and that's because of the browser. That looks horrendous, doesn't it? So we'll close that off. Now, as I said, when you open this up, it did used to play a particular type of song. Beautiful Day, I think it was. And I've muted that because of copyright reasons. And also we're going to take a look here. You can see there wasn't really much on here really. Some pictures here. There was a beautiful picture on here called Iceberg I used to like quite a lot. We'll take a look at these. They're probably very low quality. They were probably high quality back in the day, but they're low quality here, as you can see, very pixelated. That was the one I used to like a lot. I used to have that on my desktop all the time. That iceberg's probably melted by now. There we go. So there wasn't much to it really, to be fair. And the good old Screensaver. They used to have a maze one in here. Let's have a look at the maze and pipes. I can remember that one. So let's have a little preview of this maze. Look at the graphics on that. Absolutely horrendous. It's probably high quality back in the day. But yeah, just goes to show you how things have changed over the years. And I think this was the time of CRTs. I used to have an Iliama CRT back in the day, which was really decent. But yeah, you can change these up. These are all your themes and stuff and schemes, as they would call them back then, by the looks of it. Very just colours really, nothing much to them. As you can see. So let's take a look here at something else. What about the programs you have installed here? Let's have a look. Games, there we go. Accessories. Same old stuff really, but just probably more better quality nowadays. MSN messaging service, NetMeeting. Of course, Windows Millennium Edition preview. I can remember this. I'm not going to play the whole video, but I can remember the actual video itself. Used to be all about technology and stuff and how advanced Windows ME is, but looking at it today, so you can see that was all the rave back then. Headphones. Look at that Sony Walkman now, tape recorder. And there's the actual logo and the icon. And I used to do this on an upgrade, I think. I used to fix a lot of driver issues. So I think this come with more drivers on it than the Windows 98 did. So they used to offer a free upgrade to some people to Millennium, I think, back in the day, if I can remember. And look at that, digital media, rich internet experience, improved user experience and home networking. So you didn't get much back then, really, to be fair. It was very bland looking, you know what I mean? So let's have a look at inside here. MS-DOS prompt. God, they were the days. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. Now, of course, you've got all the usual stuff: Paint, Notepad, all your you know, communications there, system tools, all your disk defragmenter and system restore. That was probably a new thing introduced here, because that's what they were talking about in the little video. So you can restore your computer back, which was something that they never had back in the day. So I think that was a new feature added. Scan disk, the dreaded scan disk, as you can see here. But they used to go blue screen, big full blue screen there. You used to be able to kick people off the internet back in the day, as you can see here. Click OK. So things have changed a lot from where we was then to where we are now. It's scheduled task disks. You can see I see scheduled task. I can hardly read that, so small. But select a drive, disk defragmenter, very basic looking. You got to remember this whole install is given space of about 8 gigs. There's nothing really. As you can see here, AOL. I used to call them AOL because they were a nightmare. It's AOL basically, and that was everywhere. And people used to love it back then. I used to hate it. So as you can see there, let's drop something on the desktop. There's a few more games. Let's take a look at a couple of games here that I've got on here. Pinball weren't too bad. Windows Update is not going to work, as you can see, because they've stopped support. Trying to download from the site and it won't do it, as you can see, because they've stopped support for that. So you couldn't get the updates. You'd have to slipstream all them updates if you're going to use Windows Millennium. And you've also got Outlook Express. Back then, people used to use that, what do they call it? You've got mail. I can remember that one. That was AOL, if I remember rightly. You got your unbox. Pretty simple stuff really compared to today, what you get today. And again, the games were pretty basic. You know, Minesweeper, Pinball. I can remember Pinball. Again, that was pretty advanced for back then. And now you can probably get free games online that are way better than that. So it just goes to show you how things move on. And Minesweeper was another one that I used to play, but again, very basic game, as you can see. Very basic. So that was Windows Millennium. A little trip down memory lane for Windows Millennium, if anyone's ever used it. If you want to see any more of these operating systems, let me know and I'll install them and show them to you. You know, Windows 95, and it used, when you shut it down, it used to go, "It's now safe to turn off your computer." Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.